I went into, what's it called? Depression 5 months ago. My kids were taken away from me for a while. My mommy took my kids for a while, and when I got better, they gave my kids back to me.
When I saw the pictures of how Habiba looked the night her husband allegedly physically assaulted her, I was taken aback, with blood gushing from under her eye. Then she showed me pictures of her swollen head after she had been cleaned up at the 37 military hospital where she sought medical attention. She still has very visible marks on her face from the bruises she suffered, something she hides so well with her sunglasses and veil. She narrated what happened that Monday night in her matrimonial home at Lakeside Estate.
My husband physically abused me. He beat the hell out of me. In fact, he punched my face and my head so many times and left me with bruises. And he left me bleeding in the midst of our children, in front of our children, while the elder one was crying and pleading with him to stop, but he just ignored and kept going at it. He just kept punching my face and punching my face, asking me to leave his house. And he wants to make sure he destroys my face so no other man will see me and marry me again. So we had
What started as an argument over decision to allow her husband spend time with his 3 other wives as she worked towards starting a new business did not go down well with the husband who had initially agreed. The horrifying ordeal of exchanging words, some of which were unprintable, and the physical assault that followed were witnessed by Habiba's 2 children, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old.
While the elder one was crying and pleading with him to stop, but he just ignored and kept going at it. He just kept punching my face and punching my face, asking me to leave his house. And he wants to make sure he destroys my face so no other man will see me and marry me again. While all this was going on, my daughter was crying, "Daddy, stop beating mommy. Daddy, my mommy. Daddy, stop beating my mommy." But he kept going on at it. So now the baby was crying, the little girl was crying and begging, but he just didn't listen to them.
Habiba recounts the punches were aimed only at her head and face, and her attempts to prevent them were fruitless.
He had a ring on. He just kept, not the wedding band sort of, no, the men fashion rings, the silver rings. Yes. So he kept throwing punches at me, left, right. I went down to protect my face, and I had both hands protecting my face, and now he was punching my head. So when I tried to remove one hand or both hands to protect my head, then he comes from down, like an uppercut sort of, and then hits from beneath, punching from beneath. So I don't know at what point he punched under my eye, then blood gushed out and spilled onto the wall. Then blood was I was just bleeding from my nose onto the ground. Is it going to be the last blow? Is this going to be the last blow? But it kept on going. It kept on going till he was satisfied and said, "You can have me locked up." In Hausa, he said that you can have me locked up. I do not fear the law. So he walks out, opened the living room door wide out. He just had the door wide opened the gate wide, took his car and sped off.
In her words, when my husband was satisfied, he left me bleeding with broken glasses, table and blood splattered on the wall, plus 2 children to console. She gathered the rest of the strength in her and drove to a nearby police station to lodge a complaint, where she was asked to go to a public hospital for a medical report. She recalls her father was shaking
when we got there,
when
I called
he
him
saw
to come
her.
out. We called him on phone to come out that we were at the gate. We didn't get down. And my father was shaking at that particular moment. So he sat in the car and he was accelerating, but the car wasn't going anywhere. Then he changes the gear. The car was still not moving. So I just put my left hand on his right hand and I said, "Daddy, start the engine." So that was when my father was able to really put himself together, started the engine, and then moved the car to 37.
Habiba says she is done listening to pleas from family
But I'm
members
still going to
whenever
court.
her husband
Because
abused
I'm going
her.
to the full extent
She
of
is this
he
time going
is
all
now
out
saying he
to
doesn't
get
want the marriage, I
justice
can go to
and
hell.
save other
But all
women
he wants
who
is
may
to
be
withdraw
in
his name
similar
from media
situation.
because he's a media personality. And I'm not doing that. I've, in the past 2 years, heard about such stories where women die and nothing happens to the men, especially in our Islamic community. All we say is, it is God's doing, so let's leave it to God. That's all we say. It is God's doing, so let's leave it to God. If you should go to the Zongo community, you will find most women dying, especially in these polygamous homes. Most women just die out of being beaten or other issues, but nobody says anything. The only thing is, oh, it's God's doing. That's what God has arranged for the person, so let it be. Yes, we all believe in God. It's God's doing. But what steps have we taken to prevent these things? What steps have we taken to prevent these things? My husband gets away with these things. He's always telling me, get out of my house so I can go marry another woman. There are so many women. Get out of my house. I'm going to marry a new woman to come and put in this house. I built this house. Getting married is not expensive. Paying dowry is so cheap. 200 Ghana cedis and that is it. No anything else, like nothing else. It's just dowry and that is it. 200 Ghana cedis and finish. Or 300 cedis, maximum 500 Ghana cedis.
Martha Krenselakwa, Joy News, Accra.